Take a stance for the world you want to live in. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are very excited about what lies ahead for humanity. We are excited to witness you stepping into your power more, and we are excited to see how you will fit in with the pre-existing galactic community and all of the beings and star systems represented by it. We are eager to witness how you will change as a society and as individuals when you are taught how to access portals, energy center, grid lines, and so much more. We are going to be watching with tremendous interest as you grow and evolve into your higher selves. This process has been painful for so many of you, and there have been many times when those of you who are awake have wanted to give up. But we promise you it will all be worth it in the end. You will know who you really are for certain, and you will understand how to create your reality. You will become much better at receiving what you have already created, and your ability to access the downloads you receive will increase substantially. This is all what is on the horizon for you. And yet, as you look around at your world, it is easy to get caught up in the third-dimensional way of blaming someone else and playing the victim. Those are not strategies that move you forward. Those are the strategies that keep you where you have been. You want to get away from that whole idea that someone else has more power over your life than you do. You need reminders all the time of how significant your vibration is and how insignificant someone else's actions are in relationship to the enormous power that you have when you tune in to Source. Now is the time to let go of the old ways, and that means that you cannot see anyone else as on the other side. You cannot take sides. You can take a stance, but your stance will have to be for something positive, rather than against something negative. That is the only way to stay focused on the world that you want to live in. You can't get there by pointing your finger at someone else and talking about how wrong that person is. You must create the reality that you want to live in. And then you must put yourself in vibrational harmony with that reality in order to receive it. And when you do, everything that we have mentioned in this transmission and more will be available to you. That is our promise to you. We know how the universe works, and we know how powerful you are. And we know more and more of you are waking up every day to these truths. The 5D crystalline energy grid. We have been noticing the ways in which you all have been accessing the power of the crystalline grid of energy that runs across the entire surface of your planet. Now, of course, there are certain grid points and there are grid lines that are powerful enough to affect you even if you're not directly on that point or that line or the intersection of two lines. And this is how it affects the entirety of the surface of your planet. Therefore, it does not matter where you live or where you are staying at any time. You have the ability to tap into the strength and power of this fifth-dimensional grid. You have been co-creating it, in fact. You who are awakened have been contributing to it and receiving from it, and we love to witness this. We also see it as yet another point in the physical through which we can add our love and light, our downloads and upgrades. We love working with this grid and through this grid to support you. We are answering your prayers and finding different delivery methods to do so. Of course, when you ask for something like more abundance, you might then go looking in your bank account for that abundance. And if you don't see it right away, or even after several years, you might give up hope. However, we want you to start to see that you can access the energy of what it is you have been asking for through this crystalline, fifth-dimensional grid. And when you can feel something flowing through you, then the universe will match that in physical realm. You will have a representation of the energy that you have tapped into, that has been flowing through you. And so we recommend that you feel for this energetic grid that is beneath you, that is right there, running along the surface of your planet. Reach for it, feel for it, and receive from it. We are not the only ones contributing to this grid. Those of you who are awake and some who are asleep are contributing. You might as well receive from it because you are contributing to it. And you might as well receive the answers to your prayers because they are yours and yours alone to claim. You are the ones who are holding space, along with many others who are unseen, for humanity to complete this shift in consciousness, and to do so easily and joyously in the next decade. We are one of the groups supporting this, and we want you to know how much power there is right beneath your feet, and how easy it is to access this power, this energy, this answer to your prayers. Creating your future. We have been exploring the timelines that are in front of humanity, and we have noticed that the new timelines that you've been creating have distinctly different parts on them. You are creating your past and future simultaneously, and when you do so, you either choose from pre-existing timelines, ones that have already been created, or you create new ones. The new timelines being created now fit in with a lot of the stories that people have begun to hold as true in their hearts and minds. We are talking about stories of your collective past as a human collective consciousness. You have had many experiences that will never be talked about by historians because there isn't enough concrete or written evidence to support the existence of those stories of your past. But you, who are awake, are very creative, and you are more open-minded to possibilities that others would not even consider. Others would laugh at you for believing in the stories of your past that you hold true. Many humans need a book or some bones or perhaps some tablets to prove to them what they've experienced here on Earth. But now you have so many investigators who are telling a different story about the span of time in which humanity has been there on Earth. You have accounts from scientists telling you that you have extraterrestrials living in your oceans. You have other scientists talking about parallel universes if they are more than just science fiction. And so you are making choices every single day and offering vibrations that align you with new stories, new timelines. And therefore the idea that there is one future that is set in stone and that you are all inevitably going to experience it is preposterous. There is not just one future because there's not just one timeline for humanity. So when you hear about a future that doesn't sound very nice to you, just ask yourself if you want to vibrate in harmony with the future experience or not. And then paint the picture of the future that you want to live in and actualize the experience of that future by tuning yourself to it. Talk about the vision of the future that you are creating as if it were a work of art that we're in the process of creating. You are creators and you are artists. And in this fourth dimension that you are in, you have more freedom and less limitation that you have ever experienced there in human bodies on Earth. Therefore, it is time for you to claim the future of your choosing and to align with the version of humanity that will be going along with you on that timeline. We invite you to dream big and feel even bigger as you step into your creative studio and you vibrate into existence the future that feels best to you. Future timelines for humanity. We have been exploring every possible timeline that you have in front of you as a collective, and we've noticed that the probabilities have increased for a very favorable timeline for humanity in this next decade that you have before you. Now, we understand how things must look on the Earth. It certainly can look like you are headed for disastrous futures, but we can assure you that you are not. This is a time of great understanding, and with that understanding, it has been necessary for more information to come out about where you have been and what humanity has been doing behind closed doors. It's a good time for you to take stock of how you've been interacting with your planet, your home. It's a good time for you to ask yourself what you can do to help your Mother Earth, and it is certainly a good time for you to create even better timelines than the ones that we have been investigating. We like to put the power back in your hands because that's where it belongs. You are choosing which future you experience. You are not destined to live out on any one future. No matter what anyone predicts, you can always count on yourselves to band together as conscious creator beings so that you can enjoy the future of your creation. Now, when we give you news, like we have in this transmission, about where you are headed, we are talking about probabilities. We are talking about new timelines that have already been created in response to a lot of negativity that has been projected into your future by well-meaning individuals. And so we invite you to choose which timeline you are most in alignment with and to believe in your ability to maintain your vibrational alignment with that timeline. We also want you to know that enough of you are already doing this to become influencers, to become leaders, people who get it. This is what we love about those of you who are awake. The majority of you understand that you create your reality and have figured out how to do it. You create your reality by offering a vibration. A lot of what you see in the world right now that is not to your liking is meant to get you to be even more determined about creating a better future for you and everyone else on the planet. And when you have the intention to create a better world for everyone, you also have access to all of the energy that your human collective, that you live among, has summoned. You can be a powerful force for change, and that's what we are seeing. That's why we are so optimistic, and that's why you are receiving this transmission right now, instead of one that is much more pessimistic about the future of humanity. But don't just take our word for it. Put yourself on that timeline that shows you a glorious future for all of humanity, and invite as many others as you can to that vision. You matter. We are the ones in your lives who bring you the most in terms of how much energy and information that we provide to you, and yet we still want you to all be listening to your own hearts. We still desire for you to be more independent and to get more from within you. This is a co-creative effort. We do our part, But we also want you all to recognize that you are the ones creating your reality, and you are also the ones who determine whether what you gives you resonates with you or not. You get to decide whether you receive our energetic transmissions, and you get to decide whether you tune into any of these transmissions. You are in the driver's seat, and we will continue to give and give and give some more, regardless of whether anyone receives us there on earth. You see, we understand that we affect your collective consciousness, because you are a part of a universal consciousness as well as the human collective consciousness. You are also part of the galactic collective consciousness, and so are we. So we will continue to give and to watch over you, because we know that we have an impact on you, even when you're not paying any attention to us. We invite you to do the same in regards to the rest of your fellow humans on Earth. Even if you write a book and no one ever reads it besides you, that energy has been put down now on paper or sitting in a computer, and it has an impact on the human collective consciousness. It has an impact on the universal consciousness. You must begin to see yourselves in this way, because otherwise you will stop contributing. If your book doesn't get published by a major publisher or any publisher, then you might stop writing. But if you recognize that you're still making an impact and reaching the entire human collective, then you'll quite possibly continue writing. It does not matter how many views your video gets. It matters that you make it. It matters because you have an impact on the human collective, the galactic collective, and the universal collective with everything that you put out. Every word you speak, every thought you think, and every intention you hold impacts the whole. That's what we are seeking to do here with these transmissions, and we invite you to join us and become a part of this co-creative dance. Together we can bring about a peaceful, joyous, easy transition for all of the consciousness in the entire universe. We can do that because we are all creating our realities, and if that is reality you want to experience, then join us in what we are doing here. We are spreading light and love. We are spreading positivity and hope, and we know that you can do the same. We know that if you resonate with us and our agenda, then in all likelihood you are doing the same. And we are grateful for your contributions, because we like having a good ground crew there in the physical realm. But even if we didn't, we would still do what we do. You are the heroes. We are very consistent in the offering of our praise for humanity, and we are not alone in seeing you all as masterful and as doing so much better than you think you are doing. There are many other councils, collectives, and federations that we connect with, and the feeling is unanimous that you are handling the situation you are in there on Earth so very well. But we want you to be the ones who are acknowledging yourself and others, because it is so much more valuable when it is coming from within or from another human who has been feeling that he or she is also struggling. Of course, you are not struggling. You have come so far. You have already shifted to the fourth dimension, and you are well on your way to shifting to the fifth. Now, it is very important for you to recognize that this was set up for all of you to face tremendous challenges, because you wanted so much to see how much power, how much wisdom, and how much unconditional love you could summon to get you over the final hump to 5D. The challenges that you face are ones that you put there, but there are villains playing the part very well to give you the impression that they are the ones responsible for the current set of circumstance that you have there on your world. You asked them to play those parts because you wanted villains that were doing such bad things that it would take a tremendous amount of unconditional love to help heal the situation. You also wanted villains that would attempt to disempower you to such an extent that you would have to go within to find your true power. And you wanted villains that would attempt to dumb you down in all the ways that they do so, that you would be able to download wisdom that was beyond anything you could have possibly imagined with just your physical mind. So you see, everyone is playing their part perfectly well, and you cannot judge how well humanity is doing by how badly most of you are being treated by the villains. What you can do is to see that you are in a massive production with your friends that you'll recognize someday beyond those ugly masks that they wear. And you are the heroes. You are the ones who are going to find that strength and that peace, that determination within you to grow, to rise above, to become the beings that you are now destined to become. The fact that you have not all given up on this production speaks volumes. The fact that you have not all gone insane speaks volumes. The fact that you are still there holding on to the knowing that you are source energy beings capable of doing anything is why we and others like us having nothing but praise for the human collective. You are doing it. You have been doing it, and you will continue to do it. You will continue to choose love because it is your true nature to do so. We are the Arcturian Council. We have enjoyed connecting with you.